thing you learn in the film school.
But saying hello, it's like good in the beginning, maybe. And debrief. Sometimes.
Actually, music is good. Music helps, I think.
Yeah, it's like. So, welcome LiveDinner TV. I'm sending welcome also to Lithuania, to Italy, and to Spain. And at this moment, we are in Crown Plaza in Vilnius, in a restaurant. And I'm really glad to see Anil here together with me. And Anil is a serial entrepreneur, also meditation master and mentor. And today our topic is going to be, I'm really curious, like to make it more casual conversation about meditation.
Right.
And meditation, like let's say for peak performance. So there is like meditation now like a buzzword. So many people are talking. I remember myself like the first time when I went to meditation, it was actually here in Vilnius in some yoga studio.
Yeah.
I went, they pushed me to sit like this, and I said to myself, what the hell is happening here? It's so boring. So I escaped out of that.
Right.
So could you share, like, from your 24 years experience in self-development retreats and working with people, doing hypnosis sessions, what is meditation?
Well, maybe it's better if we talk about what is not meditation before we get into what is meditation. So this misconception that people have seen and heard, and someone out there, of course this was in Buddha's time, that was over 2,500 years ago, to sit silently and watch your breath. Now back then, 2,500 years ago, it was a different world. Most people probably don't know what was the total population of the world then.
Yep.
I'm told it was around 60 million people.
60 million?
60 million. 60 million people now live in, half of those people live in the city of Shanghai, in China.
Yeah.
The world has changed. The meditations that were contemporary, were easy to do back then, are not easy to do now. So first, the misconceptions about what meditation is and what it is not should be understood. That really makes the work easy. A lot of people think mantras are meditation. A lot of people think focusing and concentrating on third eye or someplace is meditation.
Like watching someone.
Yeah. There's a lot of people now, really in the modern world, the new buzzword is the mindfulness. Now mindfulness is not meditation. Mindfulness can lead to meditation.
Come on, Anil, let's explore it more, because like mindfulness, like I'm working in business trainings already for 18 years, and I see like in corporates, when speaking with the HR people, they are saying, have you heard about mindfulness?
Yes.
Maybe let's do some workshop around mindfulness, and there is like misunderstanding in that. Could you also like open up a little more about?
See, I don't want to say that mindfulness is wrong or mindfulness. Mindfulness is a step. Mindfulness is a technique. Mindfulness is not meditation. Mindfulness, as a definition, is paying attention with intent. So there is a doing involved. So when you are in mindfulness, you are paying attention with intent. You are becoming aware of your movement, your body, your breath. So there's a doing involved. And in meditation, there is no doing involved. Meditation is simply the ultimate rest. There is non-doing. Meditation is pure non-doing. So mindfulness can lead to meditation, but mindfulness is not meditation.
So this part is a bit more clear, like you are paying some attention. Let's say you are watching your palm, or you are counting your breathing, and you are sensing how the breath goes to your lips, and that's is like, okay, so focusing. But what you said is like the next step is not doing.
Correct.
what is not doing? It's for the mind. It's like, I don't understand that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one of the biggest gift I received, and this gift came from Osho, the way I understood meditation from him, that meditation cannot be done. Meditation is our true nature. When the body and the mind are relaxed, meditation is our nature underneath. So all the active meditation techniques that I practiced, and I practiced and learned many, but what I really found the gift in was learning how to relax the body and the mind. When body and mind are relaxed, you find yourself in the space of true relaxation. Then meditation can happen. That's where you experience meditation as your nature. So it's the ultimate experience of silence and stillness. Now, let's talk it this way. Can stillness be created? Can silence be created? I mean, imagine this being water body right now. So if you try to make the water still, or if you try to make water silent, you will only make more ripples. You will make more noise.
But let's look at this water.
So try to make it silent. The more you will try to make it silent or still, the more waves and ripples it'll create. So what meditation means is you simply watch. You watch, and this becomes silent. So stillness and silence is there. We simply have to become present to it. And we become present to it only when our mind and our body is silent.
Mind and body is silent. But then it's a bit tricky question. So who is watching this?
now you're getting into the PhD questions.
See, I'm growing also.
Watching and the watcher, you know, the observer and what is being observed is the true experience. So when we talk about this watching word, that really has to be understood a little bit. So when we go to a movie, we are watching a movie.
Yes. Or now LiveDinner, like also
so
people are watching.
We are used to watching things. But when I become aware of who is watching within me, so there is this beautiful meditation from the Book of Secrets. So if my eyes are only a window, who's watching behind the eyes? Who's looking? If my ears are only a doorway to the sound, who's listening? Now that's the ultimate question. That is what the whole journey and the quest is about. Yeah.
Like in the life journey, you mean? Yeah.
Correct. Correct. And mystics and masters like Osho have explained that, you know, the ultimate witnessing consciousness. But this has to be experienced. This cannot be conveyed. This is an individual experience that everyone should practice and see it for themselves. In that silence and stillness can they experience that witnessing consciousness.
So if like to finish a little bit with meditation, you mentioned like silence and stillness. Yes. What are the sensations, if there are some, of this state? Can we call it state, like silence and stillness? So this is like just the state of the human being. Yeah?
Well, neurologically, from neuroscience perspective, they say that the state is between alpha and theta consciousness of the mind. So we normally exist like the wakeful consciousness is the beta consciousness. And when we start to slow it down, we get into the alpha consciousness where the brainwaves slow down. So from alpha we go into theta, which is the deep sleep. So in meditation, you are not asleep, you are aware. So you are relaxed as if you are in sleep, but there is awareness behind it. That's the difference between sleep and meditation. But as an activity, if it was plotted, my understanding is it is somewhere between this alpha and theta state.
So now, if we can go a bit further, yes. So when the person is sleeping and in the morning, when you wake up, you feel rested. Yes. So the same as after the meditation. After if it happened, as you said, it can happen. You cannot do it. So there are some benefits because so many people are thinking about or trying to make it. Therefore, some people are successful in that. So, what are the benefits of meditation?
All you have to do is Google it, and you get a list of all the universities and all the many research studies done on the benefits of meditation. And I think that's why meditation has become the new darling of the world, you know. But meditation was never intended to be a mean to an end, you know. Meditation in itself is complete. Now people are meditating for the purpose of, it's a great start. It's a good thing to do. Now here I would like to differentiate between the two, the meditation techniques and meditation. So when we are practicing a technique, so for example, the one that changed my life, Osho dynamic meditation, it's a very active meditation. So when you are doing the technique part of it, it's a 5-stage meditation. In the first 3 stages you are doing. So what you are practicing is totality.
Yes.
You are learning the art of being total at what you are doing. So you are breaking the limits of what you can. So first stage is breathing, and second is catharsis, and third is the jumping, is the energy level. So in active meditations, in techniques you learn totality in doing.
And then pushing yourself, pushing your limit
to the limit,
to the
breaking the boundaries of what you have accepted as your limits. You know, it's a funny study that was done recently where people were given an app and they were supposed to press a button of yes and no, whether they were really present to where they were and what they were doing. So for example, if you received a message right now, you were simply to press yes or no. The answer was for, are you fully present where you are? Are you there where your body is? Is your mind, emotions, everything there? Would you be surprised if I told you 47% of the people were not present where they were? So imagine missing half of the life, imagine missing half of the things that we are doing at work, with our family, in any situation, missing 50% of the joy of being there.
So who is stealing this joy? Who is
multitasking? Multitasking. You know, you start your morning just as you get out of the bed. As you tomorrow morning try it and be present for 2 minutes while you're brushing your teeth.
I'm trying simply, now with the cold shower.
Try to be alone when you're taking a shower. You know, when you're in the shower, can you simply be present to the touch of the water, the smell of the soap, the sensations, the feeling? Can you be there? Because the mind runs out, and mind always runs out to, of course, the things that we have to do in the day, or it runs out to the past, a response incomplete, I should have, could have, would have. So we are always running into the past, the stress, or into the future, could have, would have, should have again.
But this tendency, as you said, like running to the past or the future, but this is like a conditioning. Like so many people have it. I have it also. I noticed how my mind goes back and forward, and also
we all do, yeah.
So is there some techniques maybe you could share, like to help, like to come to yourself more, to arrive home? Like,
you know, one of the biggest thing that meditations teach you, Remis, is to be in the moment, and that's where mindfulness is very, very important. Mindfulness teaches you to be present to the moment as a first step. So in all meditations as an art, what you're learning is to be present in this moment. And that's the starting point and the benefit of all meditations, is being present to where you are, where your body is, because your body is living your life, you are where your body is. So that's the starting point.
I'm just thinking, like, if to make some exercise for people who are watching, also to listen to your voice a little bit, and like maybe, I don't know, close the eyes or focus on something and just to sense a little bit.
And becoming present.
Of becoming present, and out of this experience, maybe then we can explore more.
Absolutely.
Like,
see the easy doorway, what connects us to the outer world is our senses. So the 5 senses are the doorways of the outer to the inner.
Yes.
And in my experience, as I have practiced it, sound is an easy doorway. So if you close your eyes, 80% of the energy becomes available to the other senses. So immediately when you close your eyes, sound enhances.
Yes.
Sound becomes louder. And now, if you simply allow with that, if you simply become present to the sound,
yeah, the sensation is like the body relaxes, like.
yes. And now, if you become aware that the sound is traveling to you, there's nothing to be done from your end. You simply allow the sound to travel to you.
And I notice now how my responsibility, like being a host of this live TV,
Yes.
it comes. Come on, okay, it's very nice feeling, but let's come back to the conversation.
Of course,
And this
yeah.
is the mind jumps in, yeah. But let's make it still this experience, and then let's go back to the.
So using the senses. So always start with the sound. Tune into any sound, and as you tune into any sound, just allow the sound to travel to you. And as you allow the sound to travel to you, relax those little muscles behind your ears. And as you do that, allow your shoulders to fall a little further down, away from your ears. Just dropping that burden, that baggage that we carry without a reason. So relaxing your shoulders. Now you are drinking this lovely glass of juice here, becoming present to whatever taste is there in your mouth at this time. And as you do that, you relax your tongue. And as you do that, relaxing your jaw. There's always a little tension. This micro muscle behind our jaw here is holding a little tension. So as you relax your tongue, you relax your jaw. Perhaps you would like to open your mouth a bit and breathe out through your mouth. And now become present to this darkness behind your eyes. Your eyes are closed. And as you do that, you can also relax that little muscle in your forehead, letting the darkness become even deeper. And simply being present to this for a few moments. For these next few moments, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, and there is no one. Just floating in the silence and stillness. And that's a total of 1 minute.
Yeah, and this.
How was it for you?
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's like the sensation is like floating, as you said, like the consciousness just floating inside darkness, if we can call it like. But the sensation is very nice. It's like relaxing, and you when you mentioned like small muscles behind the ears or something here, so it's like you can sense how they and relaxing.
Yeah. So creating moments like this throughout the day. When you're sitting in the car, at a stop sign for a second, or in the back seat if you're in Uber, if you take the train to work, if you're at your desk, even in restroom, just for a moment to unplug from the activity, the doing part. If you notice how deeply it relaxes the mind, the key is to just unplug from it.
Yeah, and it creates, and it seems like when coming back, when I came here back, like it's like starting the engine again, like vroom, like okay, very nice sensation. And it's like
it just refreshes the mind. It makes you more present to the moment. So this is a very, very powerful technique, and this can also be done. There is another beautiful meditation mentioned in the Book of Secrets, which is called the neutral gear. So we are always changing activities, going from one meeting to another meeting. We are switching tasks. So like the car goes through the neutral gear before it goes from the first to the second and second to the third. It passes through the neutral space. So if you create that space for yourself when you are switching tasks for 30 seconds, for a minute, and if you have more time, for sure, do it for more time. But this is a very good meditation at work where you can, every time you switch task, you remember this neutral gear.
I'm just thinking like it could be some kind of the reminders for myself, even like it could be on the phone or somewhere. Like when you are switching the task, have like a 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Well, you know, I love the app. There is an app that I love. It's Osho Meditations for Busy People. It has 21 amazing meditations. There's a book by the same name and 21 meditations that anyone can download from any of the store, iOS or Google Play Store. So Osho Meditations for Busy People. Very small, sharp, short meditations on the go. Sitting on an airplane, sitting in a train, alone, together. Very beautiful meditations. Because see, meditation is not going to church for an hour. Meditation is not about going to the mountains or retreat. Meditation is more about how you do things. It is less about what you're doing, it is more about how you do things. It is a quality you bring in. But this is one of the biggest misconceptions, that people think they have to do a headstand, they have to sit in a certain position, they have to do another thing in their schedule.
Or I heard like this, like a 10-day be in silence. I think like if you are taking like a business person or active social person like to the 10 days retreat of silence, I don't know, it could create even more damage for him or not the...
I mean, you know, I have heard some research on this, and this is out, published now. New York Times had published some articles on that it has done some damage, you know, because when you become aware, if you don't know what to do with that, see, the mind is processing 60 to 80,000 thoughts. Like the heart is pumping, we are breathing 20,000 times a day, our stomach is digesting the food we eat. The mind is doing its job. It is not possible to stop the mind. So anyone who's teaching meditation as a fight with the mind is a lost battle. Is a battle that cannot be won. So when you forcefully watch the mind and the craziness that the mind does, of course it can drive you crazy. In this case, ignorance can be bliss, you know. You're like, okay, glad I didn't know what it was doing before, you know.
Just going.
So learning to unplug from it. The space of no mind is really not that you don't have the mind. The mind is there. Mind is doing what it's supposed to do. We're unplugging from it. So no mind is the disidentification from the mind and its activities. A very big difference. So a lot of people get confused when they hear that meditation is a state of no mind. It doesn't mean that you lose your mind or you become a vegetable. No, it, like we are not bothered by any other part of the body doing its function. Then mind also becomes a servant. Mind also becomes a part of the body doing its job, doing its function. And someone else becomes the master, chooses when to use the mind, when not to use it.
Yeah, this is like very easy to verbalize it, but it's hard like to walk.
Absolutely, absolutely, it's practice. See, the science is very simple. That if you experience it and then you practice it again, that's when the new connections in the brain begin to happen. So the key is to actually experience it. If you only talk about it, if it's just your knowledge, it doesn't do anything. When this becomes your experience and your body can confirm that, when your body experiences that silence and stillness, something starts to shift. And I'm not a neuroscientist. What I understand the language is that the new synaptic connections begin to form. And the more you practice, the more hardwired they become. And then much easier to recall that when you need it. So then it's all about practice.
It becomes not like a small path, but it's like a highway, like to the state that you would like to achieve.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm curious, when you said about the experiences, I had like 1 month ago, like an experience for myself. Like I was going to bed, not sleeping, but closing the eyes, and I noticed like how the mind like chatting, and then it was like, okay, let it go, and somehow it disappeared. And then the focus was like in the inner watching. So I just see some kind of the images and they are floating inside. And the awareness tells there is no chatting. I was like, oh shit, what is happening here? Like, so curious. And
So
it was
you
like,
had that experience of witnessing, yeah.
and the inside was like, I want to see what is there. What is there?
Oh, beautiful.
And I was not able to reach that. But the experience was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So,
see, this is what you shared is a very important and powerful things. Because everything that we know teaches us to do something about it. And no one ever talks about becoming present to what is, becoming a witness. Nothing needs to be done, you know. So if you simply become aware of what is going on, it passes. And the analogy that is very helpful in that is like clouds in the sky.
yeah.
So nothing needs to be done. The clouds come, the clouds go.
Yes.
You simply need to be present. If you get engaged in doing something with it, that's when it becomes more muddled and wavy.
And if our conversation is getting to the end, and maybe there is some kind of the story or some kind of the analogy for people who are watching this live dinner TV to think about, like for the evening or to discuss with the friends. Maybe you could share some kind of the story, like a question mark. It could be no answer to that, but just to leave like curious people on the journey.
You know, the two things that inspire me, the quotes that have inspired me, and they do come, a lot of what I talk about, what has changed my living and transformed my living, comes from the world of Osho. So one of the beautiful quotes I had heard is, when we are doing our math, we need the mind, you know. But when we are drinking wine with friends and listening to music, there is no need for the mind. The heart must know. And when we are meditating, when we have our eyes closed, we don't need the mind, we don't need the heart, we simply need our being. So we need to learn, and now neuroscience is confirming this, that we have the thinking brain, the feeling brain, and just the gut brain, the being. So what question I would like to leave everyone with is, it's amazing to find these hidden resources. So it's like suddenly you have one engine, instead of one engine you're operating on triple engine, or having 3 bank accounts for that matter. You know, you have one bank account, you know, you're operating from one, and suddenly you find 3 accounts from where you can operate, or 3 engines for that matter.
Then the peak performance like skyrocketed.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
And for people who were watching us, like you can find Anil Chadwani on Facebook, and to see the resources he's sharing. There is like one movie which came out recently about the evolution of success.
The evolution of success. It's a beautiful, it's not a movie, it's more of a course, it's more of a lifestyle approach to success. There's got some legends like Jack Canfield, Joe Vitale, Bob Doyle, and I'm featured in it as well. We are all talking about what success means and the steps that you can take to reach to that point. So it's available now online.
Okay, so please check it out. And also for Lithuanians who are watching, if you would like to win like a book, so please share this video, the stories about the meditations, and we will select it, the person who wins during the next 72 hours. And it was lovely to talk to you, Anil, to meet you here again in Lithuania. And let's see, maybe we will meet you again somewhere in Los Angeles.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah. Meditation.